Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rekakadash. Now we're going to get into the kingdom of Esau, the world of Esau, the world of the so-called white man. And when you go into the scriptures, it's three major scriptures that just is a direct reference to his kingdom. Genesis 27 and 40, or 37 or 38 through 40. Genesis 27, 38 through 40. It talks about the dominion of Esau, the rulership of Esau. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9 talks about the end. Esau is the end of the world. And then Job 9 and 24, it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. It says, he covers the faces of the judges. If not him, who is he? And then you have 2nd Thessalonians that talks about Second Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. It talks about the man of sin, the man of destruction. He shall be revealed in the last days. And see, we're living in these last days, and he is being revealed. And so he is the ruler of the world, and he has a hidden identity. See, because he has people thinking that it's some kind of Satan adversarial angel that God is warring with, and that's God's main focus. But his focus is not gonna be going to war with his angels in the last days. It's gonna be going to war with this adversarial nation that he's been warring with ever since he created the nation. Now let's go into the war. Let's go into this war, Salakia. Now the war started here. When the Israelites came out of Egypt, they ran into this nation. This nation was waiting on them. Let me just start. Let's start from the beginning. From 17. It say all the congregations of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of sin after their journeys, according to the commandment of the Lord, and pitched in Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink. So it's saying that they pretty much was coming out of Egypt, and they pitched the tent into the valley of sin. Now it says they murmured against Moses and was dealing with Moses. Now it says here, it says Moses went and did, this is when Moses took credit for making water coming out the rock, and the reason he couldn't go into the promised land. But it says in verse 8, it says, then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. So this is when they came out. They was complaining about water. Once they got into the wilderness, and then here come the Edomites. Amalek goes back to Edom. So as soon as they was getting into that wilderness, the Edomites came for them. And so this is the statement the Most High made. He made Moses make an altar called Yahweh Nisi. It say, for he said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation, meaning forever. See, was a situation that was going to last forever. And so let's put in Amalek. Let's put in Amalek. See, it says Esau's son, Amalek. Okay, Duke Amalek. Amalek came and warred with them. Okay, let's get past. Okay. Now Amalek and the Canaanites dwelt in the valley. See, they would click up with the so-called Africans. The so-called white men would click up with the Africans like they did in the transatlantic slave trade and come against Israel. Now it said for Amalek in Numbers 24, it said, and when he looked on Amalek, he took up the parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nation, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. See, he's the first to rule. He was the eldest son of Isaac, and he was going to rule. Okay. See, Amalek and Joshua, Judges, Samuel. Okay. It was warned against Israel. Look at what the Lord told Saul, King Saul, to do to Amalek. In 1 Samuel 15:3, it says, now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. You see, now Saul didn't obey, and he gave the kingship to David, because he said rebellion is an act of witchcraft. So once he gave the kingdom to David, David was hanging with the Philistines, running from Saul, and then who came? First Samuel 30:18, and David recovered all that the Amalekites had carried away, and David rescued his wives. See, these Edomites came and attacked King David. See, they came and attacked King David, and King David had to go and rescue his people. Now, King Solomon had to deal with these Edomites. Let's get that. King Solomon had to deal with these Edomites. Let's get that. It's Chronicle. The king, okay. Chronicles. You see Edom. Dukes of Edom. These are the Dukes of Edom. Okay, now this 13 look like it might be trying to get right to it. Now King David and pretty much made them servants. He made the Edomites servants. Okay. See, the Edomites is all through the operation fighting against Israel. But I want that instance where they fought against King Solomon. It might be that 13. there was a certain king that the Edomites had, and he came against King Solomon. Let's get Solomon, because it said Solomon's name. See, there's been a war going on between the Edomites and Israel forever. And when you understand the history between the Edomites and Israel, then you can get an understanding of what's going on in the world today. Because these two nations did not all just drop dead and go out of existence. They was prophesied to last all the way up to the kingdom. Now I think this is in 2nd Chronicle or 1st Chronicle, one of them. Because King Solomon, he had a major battle with these Edomites. Okay, Solomon. It should be in Chronicle. Let me get Chronicle. I know Kings had so much stuff. Okay, here we go. Chronicles. Alright. Chronicles. I have to put Edom up here because okay, here we go. Good gracious. It said, and the Lord stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Adad the Edomite. He was the king of the seed of, he was the king's seed in Edom. So this is something that people don't understand. They thinking that the devil is something, a adversarial angel. No, the Lord always stirred up the Edomites against Israel. See, the Lord brought the Edomites against Israel, and that word adversary in the Hebrew is Satan. And when it came to the Greek, it's the same situation. It's Satan, adversary. When Yahushua called Peter, get behind me, Satan, he meaning the get behind me, adversary. You the adversarial spirit. Is just like a nickname or a slang word for adversary, or somebody coming against what you saying or what you doing. It's not a spirit that's God is sending, or it's not a spirit that God created to be the devil, or that God created and he rebelled against God and became the adversary. That's what I'm trying to get to. And so this is the problem with how these Edomites is pretty much not even on the radar, because they created a fallen angel, rebellious angel, adversary, and they disappeared out of the picture. And then they told lies about the nationalities of who's in the book, that they all done away with. It's things of the past, when they all got prophesied. They was all in prophecy. Let's get these prophecies. When you go into Amos chapter 9 verse 11, or verse 12, it say, they that they may possess the remnant of Edom and all the heathen which are called by my name. See, the tabernacle of Israel was going to be rebuilt. The Israelites was going to come back into rulership after the Edomites. It says, for lo, I will command and I will shift the house of Israel among all nations, meaning he's going to take the Israelites out of all nations. Go gather them together. Verse 11, in that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. So he's going to gather the Israelites and build them back up as in the days of David, when the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom was in rulership of the whole earth. You see? And then he said that they may possess the remnant of Edom. It's going to be Edomites that's still alive, and they're going to put them in slavery. And it's going to be remnants of the heathen that's still alive, and they're going into captivity under the Israelites, like in the days of old. See, it's not going to be something about he attacking angels, fallen angels. That has nothing, that's not in prophecy. Nowhere in prophecy is it talking about God is going to battle with some rebellious angels that fell from heaven. That's a bold-faced lie. It's nowhere in prophecy. Prophecy dictates everything. Let's get that. First Corinthians 14. See, prophecy is the situation. 32, is saying the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. See, when you come and prophesy, you subject to the prophets. You go under the prophets. You can't go above them and say something that they didn't say. You are under them. Okay? Acts 15. Right before James brought out the fact that he's going to rebuild the Israelites, he quoted Amos. He said, verse 15, and to this agree the words of the prophets. See, the prophets agree, man. All the prophets agree. And in Acts, he brought out just what I brought out. He said that God is going to take the Israelites out of all the nations. And he said that he's going to rebuild the tabernacle of David. He's going to make it where the kingdom is going to be like when King David was ruling. And he's going to subdue all the Israelites, all the Gentiles. Now, the so-called Illuminati, Rothschild, Westcott and Hort, and the Charles Taze T. Russell, the ones who rigged the Bibles and changed the Bible, they was also tampering with certain verses. So, you can see how they plugged in what they wanted to plug in, because Peter was quoting Amos, and this is a whole nother concept what they got in here. It's not what was in Amos. You see, but when you go back into the prophecy, it lets you know, and the prophet's supposed to agree. So these Edomites is in rulership. Let's get some more rulership verses of the nation of Edom. See, Edom was always gonna be the rulership. Jeremiah. Let's see, Jeremiah 49 and 10. It said, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, his brethren, his neighbors, and he is not going to be able to hide himself. You see? And during his rulership, verse 22, behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle, and spread his wings over Basra. That's America. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pains. See, Yahushua when he returns, he's gonna come and spread his wings over Edom. See, over Basra, over America, and they gonna see that he is coming back, because he told them that he's gonna come back on the clouds with great glory. While while his people was in bondage, being trodden down of the Gentiles. See, 24. He said they would be led away captives into all nations, slaves in all nations, before they get gathered, and before he rebuild their nation, and be trodden down of the Gentiles. You see? And then he told them, and then they shall see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. See, when he come, he's going to spread his wings over Edom, Basra, the Edomites, the capital city of the Edomites, which is America. This is the state empire. They got an empire, which is this kingdom, and America is the state that's running the empire. You see, that's why he tells us not to love this world. And if anyone love this world, the love of the Father is not in them, because this is not the world of the Israelites. This is the world of the Edomites. But pretty much that's the wrap. Let's see here. And see, they don't supposed to even deal with this book, these scriptures. He said, but unto the wicked God says, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that you should take my covenant in your mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction and cast my words behind you? See, they don't deal with these words. You go in any of these so-called churches, they in there running game. They're not going to speak the oracles of God or stick to the law and to the testimony. See, they going to go and speak their own words out of their own heart and tell you a bunch of lies, because they are the adversary. They're not going to tell you the truth. You see, but this is what we dealing with when we dealing with these Edomites in their kingdom. See, they're going to lie in their kingdom. They got a reputation for lying in their kingdom. Their own people call them out for lying in their kingdom. Let's get that real quick while I'm saying it. Verse 8. Psalm 64, verse 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. See, the Edomites going to tell on themselves. Their own people going to expose the lies and the wickedness that they pushing. And so that's what we going through here in this kingdom. We don't even deal with their stuff. They ain't even going to listen to us, but their own people going to be the ones to expose them. And God going to shoot that arrow and make them do it. But this is their kingdom. They're in rulership. Babylon the Great, America, this is their Basra, where they're running everything out of. And they trying to hide who they are and make it seem like the issue is between the angels and the demons. And that's not the case. Demon go back to intelligence. See, that's what the word demon go back to the word, etymology to the word demon is intelligence. See, this intelligence, the angels going to have intelligence. But see, God sent angels to send this delusions, strong delusions, and delusions when people are disobedient. And that's what Christianity, white Jesus, the so-called white man, see, all that is delusion for people that want to stick with disobedience. And he convinced the world that the laws of God is done away with. all God commands is done away. Don't listen to God. That's what he pretty much saying by saying the law is done away with. But I'm going to leave it there. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekakadash. Double honor to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.